student. In today's video, I am going to explain what is pressure, different topics related to the pressure, expression for pressure due to liquid column and Pascal law and its proof. So first of all, let us consider what do you mean by pressure. So in general we know that pressure is nothing but the force acting normally on particular surface area. So that is called as the pressure. Now which is the force that is acting? So when we consider the fluid at rest, so this is the glass in which water is taken. Now this water is at rest position. So that's why we consider fluid at rest. Now when this water is taken in a glass, now this water exert the force on the surface area which is in contact with the water. So all of you here easily observe that the water in contact with the curved surface, that is the walls of glass as well as the bottom of glass. So here this water exert the force normally on the wall of glass on this side. Then the water also exert the force on the wall of this side of glass and also exert the force on the bottom of the glass. So that's why I write here a fluid, that is the water which is at rest, exert the force where on the surface, which surface in contact with that fluid, that is the water of a open vessel. So this side, one of the side of vessel is open, that's why it is called as a open vessel. So whatever the normal force, this one is a container and we take the water in that glass. So whatever the normal force exerted by that water molecules on this surface area of the glass which is in contact, that is called as the pressure. So that's why I define here the normal force exerted by a fluid at rest per unit surface area which is in contact, that is called as the pressure. So that's why simply you have to keep in mind pressure is nothing but force acting per unit area. That force must be perpendicular, and if it is not perpendicular to the surface, you have to take the component of force, that is the F cos theta, if it makes some angle with the surface. Now it is very clear that this force this pressure depend upon the two factors. The first one is a force. This pressure is directly proportional to force and this pressure is inversely proportional to the area. Now here from the first relation we can say that greater the force, greater is the pressure. Whatever the liquid taken in a container, if that liquid exert the greater force, then we can say that greater pressure exerted by that liquid. And this pressure is inversely proportional to the area. Pressure is directly proportional to force and pressure is inversely proportional to area. We already discussed some more points in previous video, that is the unit of pressure, that is Newton per meter square, which is called as a Pascal, dyne per centimeter square, that is the CGS unit, and Newton per meter square is a SI unit. Now here related to this topic, the two questions that are given in our textbook which we studied in lower class, that is why edge of the knife kept sharp and why tip of the needle made pointed. Now all of you know that the use of this knife, why this edge of the knife, that is sharp. Now the function of this knife is just to cut the fruit as well as the vegetables. Now when we hold this knife in our hand and apply the force. Now if this edge of the knife is rough, it is thick, it is not sharp, then whatever the force applied by ourselves, that act on a greater area. It means greater the area, less will be the pressure. On the other hand, if this sharp edge is sharp pointed, then what happen? Whatever the force applied with our hand just to cut the fruit, that is applied on a lesser area, so that that fruit can be easily cut. That's why here the edge of the knife that always become sharp. Then second question that is asked, why tip of the needle? Here, why tip of the needle made pointed? Now if you consider the needle which is connected to the syringe. So here doctor insert the medicine, that is the in liquid form, in a syringe just by pulling out, and then apply the force with the help of finger, and this is the syringe along with the needle used to give the injection. So whatever the force applied with the help of finger, that should be put on the surface area of that needle which is in contact with our body. If this tip of the needle is not pointed, it is thick, then greater the area, so that's why less pressure that will be exerted, and doctor here has to apply the larger force. But if the tip of the needle made pointed, so it is in contact, that is smaller area, that's why it exerts the greater pressure, so that this needle, tip of the needle can easily enter inside our skin and whatever the medicine that is inserted inside our body. So these are the two familiar questions that is asked in our textbook. Why edge of the knife kept sharp? Just to cut the fruits as well as vegetables easily by applying the small force, so that the pressure that should be greater. And why the tip of needle made pointed? So with the help of less force apply, and that tip of the needle, if it is pointed, it has a smaller area. So in both the case, that is the sharp knife edge or tip of the needle pointed, in both the case that reduces the area. If area reduces, then the pressure increases. Now let us move toward the next point, that is the pressure due to the liquid column. So let us consider one cylinder whose cross-sectional area is A and it is filled with the liquid of uniform density rho to a height h. So this is the here cylindrical vessel whose surface area, that is cross-sectional area, is A, and some liquid is taken in that cylinder whose height is suppose h. Then we have to find the force exerted by that liquid on the wall of that cylindrical vessel. Now here we already discussed that this liquid which is in contact with the surface exert the normal force. Now here a normal force act. If you consider now the force acting at the bottom of vessel, whatever the liquid present in that cylindrical vessel, now we have to consider the force exerted by that liquid inside the cylindrical vessel on the bottom. So I write here a normal force acts on the bottom of cylinder because of weight of the liquid inside. Whatever the liquid present here, it has certain weight, and that weight is always acting in downward direction. Now here we have to find the pressure exerted by this liquid on the wall of that cylindrical vessel. So use the formula, that is pressure exerted by the liquid on the bottom. It is given by P equal to F upon A. Now here force is equal to what? The weight, that is M into G upon A. Now you have to put the value of M from this formula. We have density equal to mass upon volume. Therefore mass equal to density into volume. Now you have to put the value of volume of cylinder, that is area into height. Now put this value in this equation. We have pressure equal to rho, means density of liquid, area of cross section into height into G upon A. Now we can cancel this A. So we have pressure exerted by that liquid at the bottom of cylindrical vessel, that is equal to rho into H into G. So this is the expression for pressure due to the liquid column. Let us revise it. We have to consider one cylindrical vessel. In that cylindrical vessel, you have to consider some liquid. So consider a cylinder of cross-sectional area A, which is filled with the liquid of uniform density rho, and that liquid is taken up to particular height. That height is a H. Then whatever the liquid present in that cylinder, that exert the perpendicular force, normal force at the bottom of vessel. So that's why right here a normal force acts on the bottom of cylinder due to the weight of liquid. So we can easily find the force if we we can easily find the pressure if we know the force and area. So this force is nothing but the weight of liquid column. So I write here F equal to mg. Now put the value of m from this formula. Density equal to mass upon volume. Therefore mass equal to density into volume. You have to put the volume of, that is the cylinder, because that liquid is taken in a cylinder and liquid has ability, but that is when we pour that liquid in that particular vessel, its volume equal to volume of the vessel. That's why right here area into height. When I put the complete value of mass simplified, then the pressure exerted by that liquid at the bottom is rho Hg, where rho is the density of liquid, H is the height of liquid column, and G is the acceleration due to gravity. So from that we can easily clear this pressure is directly proportional to density of liquid, this pressure is directly proportional to height, and this pressure is directly proportional to the acceleration due to gravity. So from this expression we can easily say that greater the density of liquid, greater is the pressure exerted by that liquid. Greater the height of liquid column, greater will be the pressure exerted. And where we perform this experiment, at that place if acceleration due to gravity is greater, then pressure that will be greater. So keep in mind, this pressure is directly proportional to the height, or if we move in downward direction, to the depth. This pressure exerted by the liquid column, that is independent upon shape and size of the vessel. This pressure is directly proportional to height. This pressure is independent upon shape and size of the vessel which is taken. And when we consider the different points at the same height, then pressure due to this liquid column that will be same. So we can say that pressure at different points which are at the same height, that will be same. Now let us consider what do you mean by atmospheric pressure. Now as the name itself indicates, the pressure exerted by atmosphere on the earth, that is the atmospheric pressure. Now first of all, consider what do you mean by atmosphere. So all of you know that different layers of air present around the earth. Now the envelope of different gases present around the earth is nothing but the atmosphere. What is atmosphere? The envelope of different layers of air or gases called as the atmosphere. Now here when we consider the different layers of the atmosphere, that is the troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, ionosphere and the exosphere, which we have to study in detail later on. Now here whatever the different layers of the atmosphere that is present around the earth that exert the force on the earth's surface, and when we consider that force acting on particular area of the earth's surface, that gives us the atmospheric pressure. So in order to explain what do you mean by atmospheric pressure, let us consider these points. So that is, first point you have to keep in mind, what is atmosphere? The envelope of different layers of the air or gases present around earth, that is the atmosphere. Now this earth's atmosphere is made up of gases or air. So that's why we can say that earth's atmosphere made up of fluid, and that different layers of fluid exert the force in which direction? In downward direction, because of the weight. Whatever the layers of air we consider here, that exert the force in downward direction because of their weight. So that's why right here the first point, Earth's atmosphere made up of fluid. It means that different layers of air exert the downward force because of its weight. So the pressure due to this force, whatever the force exerted by Earth's atmosphere in downward direction, that is nothing but the atmospheric pressure. Or you can say that the weight of the air column of unit area of cross section. The weight is nothing but the force, that is the weight of air column of unit cross sectional area, that is called as the atmospheric pressure. Now this atmospheric pressure, we already find the pressure because of liquid column, that is here P equal to H rho G. Now from that we can easily consider the different points related to the atmospheric pressure. The first one, that atmospheric pressure is highest at the surface of earth. Here pressure is maximum. Why? Because whatever the different layers of air we consider here, the weight at this point is maximum. It means the force is maximum. That's why pressure is maximum. From this relation, P equal to F by A. Greater the force, greater is the pressure. So that's why right here the first point, the atmospheric pressure is highest at the surface of earth, that is at a sea level. Then as we move away from the earth's surface, then what is the effect on that atmospheric pressure? So as we move away from the earth's surface, atmospheric pressure decreases. Why? Because here the weight of that different layers of air that decreases. It means force decreases. If force decreases, then pressure decreases. So that's why right here the second point, atmospheric pressure decreases as we move away from the surface. Then the region. Now if I say as we move away from the earth's surface, the pressure decreases. Now there is a particular height reach, particular point where the pressure is less than the atmospheric pressure. So all of you know the value of atmospheric pressure, that is 1 atmospheric pressure equal to 1.013 into 10 to the power 5 Newton per meter square or Pascal. 1 atmospheric pressure equal to 1.013 into 10 to the power 5, or you can nearly take as 1 into 10 to the power 5 Newton per meter square. That is the value of atmospheric pressure, which is find out just by considering the three values. That is the value of height in barometer. We have to consider the height of mercury, it is 76 centimeter. The density of mercury is 13,600 kg per meter cube, and acceleration due to gravity, that is 9.8 meter per second square. By putting all these values, we have the atmospheric pressure as 1.013 into 10 to the power 5 Newton per meter square. So here I am explaining the third point. There is a particular place, region, where that pressure becomes less than the atmospheric pressure. That region is called as the vacuum. So what is vacuum? The region where the gas pressure is less than atmospheric pressure. That is called as the vacuum. And when it is called as absolute or perfect vacuum, when there is no matter present in that region. It means where there is a very less pressure. If the matter is not present, then force is not present. That's why pressure, that is not present. So that region where the pressure is very, very small, negligible, that region is called as the perfect or absolute vacuum. Now after considering what do you mean by atmospheric pressure, now we have to consider the two types of pressure, that is the absolute pressure and gauge pressure. Now first of all, we have seen what do you mean by atmospheric pressure. That is the pressure exerted by different layers of atmosphere which is present around Earth, that is the atmospheric pressure. Now here we have to consider what do you mean by absolute pressure and what do you mean by gauge pressure. So let us consider what do you mean by absolute pressure. Now here absolute pressure is simply the total pressure at a particular point in a fluid, which is the sum of two pressure, that is the gauge pressure and the atmospheric pressure. So simply keep in mind, absolute pressure is the sum of atmospheric pressure and the gauge pressure. Now what is gauge pressure? So it is a pressure relative to the atmospheric pressure. When we measure one pressure with respect to the other, we use the word relative. It means we have to measure this gauge pressure with respect to the atmospheric pressure, whether that pressure is less or more. So that's why right here it is a pressure relative to atmospheric pressure. It means it is a pressure with respect to atmospheric pressure. Now this gauge pressure is more than atmospheric pressure. That's why it is taken as positive pressure, because as per sign convention, the distances from the particular reference point in upward direction taken as positive and in downward direction taken as negative. So that's why right here, what is gauge pressure? It is a pressure relative to atmospheric pressure which is more than atmospheric pressure. And why it is called as positive pressure? Because it is above the atmospheric pressure. Now in order to explain the concept of absolute pressure and the gauge pressure, let us consider this diagram. We can say this is a graph which is plotted between absolute vacuum and the pressure. We already just explained what we mean by absolute vacuum. The region where there is no matter present and where there is a zero pressure. There is a very, very negligible pressure called as a absolute vacuum. Now if we plot the graph between absolute vacuum and the pressure. Now here I consider This is the atmospheric pressure. Now we have to consider one point above the atmospheric pressure and one point below the atmospheric pressure. Now here the point which is above the atmospheric pressure, at that point the pressure that will be more. That's why right here gauge pressure is a pressure relative to the atmospheric pressure, and which is positive because it is in upward direction to that of the atmospheric pressure. And we consider the another point, that is the point B below the atmospheric pressure. So this is the point where the pressure is less than atmospheric pressure, and this is the point where pressure is more than the atmospheric pressure. So this particular point where the pressure is less than the atmospheric pressure called as a vacuum. Now here from this graph we can conclude these 3 points, which are the absolute pressure always measured from the absolute vacuum. It means we have to measure whatever the pressure at point A, not from the atmospheric pressure but from the absolute vacuum. So that's why right here the first point, absolute pressure always measured from the absolute vacuum. Then second one, gauge pressure measured with the help of instrument, which is called as pressure gauge. Generally we use this instrument just to check the air which is filled in a tire of 4-wheeler, that is the pressure gauge or gauge pressure. So gauge pressure can be measured with the help of certain instrument. And third one, the vacuum pressure. As vacuum pressure is below the atmospheric pressure, that's why it is considered as a negative, and it is always below the atmospheric pressure. So let us revise quickly the 2 points, that is what do you mean by absolute pressure and what do you mean by gauge pressure. Absolute pressure is the sum of gauge pressure and atmospheric pressure. What is gauge pressure? It is the pressure which is greater than atmospheric pressure and which is taken always as a positive. And what is the vacuum pressure? It is the pressure less than atmospheric pressure. That is called as the here vacuum pressure. And this absolute pressure always measured from the absolute vacuum. Gauge pressure is less than gauge pressure is always greater than the atmospheric pressure. That's why it is always positive, and that can be measured with the help of instrument. And vacuum pressure is less than the atmospheric pressure. That's why it is taken as a negative.